All right, welcome seventh graders to video number 2. So now we're going to write expressions in different forms. So what I'm going to do with this one is I need to look at what are the, how do I want to say this? What are the steps that I need to take in order to simplify this expression? So you notice I'm talking about simplifying expressions. I'm not talking about solving for the variable. So we are not solving for the variable at the moment. We are just simplifying the expressions. So let's get to it. At this point, I shouldn't have to show you the rainbow. You can do the rainbow on your paper, but I shouldn't have to show you. So I'm going to look at 5 times b. 5 times b is 5b. And then 5 times 6 is 30. And then I just bring down what I did not use. Now remember, we've talked about this. Sorry, it's a little crooked, guys, because I'm trying to make sure I'm in frame here. When you are doing the distributive property, you are not distributing anything that is not directly next to. So if it is separated, so listen to what I'm saying to you. If it is separated by an operation, you are not distributing it. This right here is separated from this because of this. So this 5 times the quantity of everything inside here is separated from 3b because of this subtraction sign. So the only thing I can do with the 3b is bring it down. Now I can combine my terms that are alike. 5b minus 3b is 2b, and I bring down my 30 because I cannot combine that with anything else. And that is my final answer. Over here, the only thing I can do with this 8y, because it is not part of this distributing, is to bring it down. For this one, I will show you the colors. If I do a negative 1/2 times 4y, now think about it, it's asking me to take half, to multiply by half. So when I multiply by half, I am cutting it in half. What does that look like when I cut something in half? When I cut 4 in half, I'm going to get a negative 2y. And when I cut 16 in half, because I'm going to do the exact same thing, because I'm distributing times a negative 1/2, I'm doing a negative and a negative, which remember, same sign, gonna get a plus. And half of 16 is 8. So for my final answer, I'm going to combine the terms that are alike. 8y minus 2y gives me 6y. And then the 8 I can't do anything with other than bring it down. The positive, did I say positive 8 or negative 8? I'm sorry. I don't know if I said negative 8 or positive 8. That's how you would do that one. All right, so let's look down here. I'm going to switch colors up because I feel like the pink might be too bright. So remember with 9a, I'm just going to bring that down. And then I'm still going to distribute those two. A negative 2 times a will just be a negative 2a. And a negative 2 times a negative 3 is going to give me a positive 6. Combine the terms that are alike, and you have 7a plus 6 as your final answer. Lastly, I have a shape. Remember what I said about having a rectangle. When you have a rectangle, the lengths are the same and the widths are the same. Let me get my black so we can write that on the side. Trying to find my black marker, guys. Hold on. Do you have a black marker? Sorry guys, my child had it. And we're back. So this and this are the same. And this are the same. One way to do this is to just add all the what is that called? One way to do this is to add all of the variables that are the same. So let's just do that. I'm just going to make these stand out. And then I'm going to make the other one stand out. Plus 2, minus 3, plus 2, minus 3. So if I were to add 2x plus 2x plus x plus x, this is what I'd get. 2x plus 2x plus x plus x. And then if I did 2 minus 3 plus 2 minus 3. And we're going to get something in the end. So we have 2x plus 2x is 4x, plus 1x is 5x, plus another x is 6x. So far I have 6x. So that's going to be part of my answer. Then I have 2 minus 3. So remember, 2 minus 3 is going to be a negative 1 because you're going backwards on the number line. You're going from 2 and you're going to the left. So I go from 2, I go 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. I end up at negative 1. Negative 1 plus 2 gives me a positive 1. And a positive 1 minus 3 gives me a negative 2. So that what I write over here is minus 2 or negative 2. And that is my final answer. So let's move on to the one on the bottom here. And I may have to reframe it because I think it might be out of frame that way. Yep. So I'm just going to slide this over just a little. Let me see if I can just move the table. We'll just move the table. There we go. That worked. Kind of. Wait a minute. Let me do this. There we go. That's good. I think that works out. Now hopefully it'll stay and it won't slide off the front. But we'll see. All right, so now we are going to solve for the variable. So as I said, before we were just looking at making sure we simplified. Now we are actually solving for our variable. So you have a two-step equation. In my two-step equation, I'm going to look at what I'm adding and subtracting first. So let's see. I'm looking at my constant. Subtract 9 from both sides. Bring down what I didn't use. That zeroes out. 24. Take away 9 is 15. Divide both sides by 5. They divide into 1. X equals -3. Remember, opposite signs, negative answer. If you don't remember that, go back a few videos. Same thing. Do my inverse. Bring down what I did not use. -10 plus 7 is 3. Last step, multiply, because that's the inverse of division. That it doesn't zero out, it goes out to 1. 3 times 2 is 6. Last one for this row. Subtract 12 from both sides because that is the inverse. That zeroes out. Bring down what I did not use. 48, take away 12 is 36. Lastly, divide both sides by 3 because remember, your goal is to isolate your variable. Get that variable all by itself. 36 divided by 3 is 12. Remember, the goal is always to isolate your variable. Start with adding or subtracting, whatever the inverse needs to be. And then from there, you're going to divide or multiply, depending on what the inverse is. Hopefully this was helpful. If you want, you can try the 3 on the bottom. I don't want this video to get too long. So let's see if we can kind of hold that paper in place. All right, so you can take a picture of that if you need to. If you want to try those 3 before you do the work, this week's work, we still have 2 more videos to do. And I'll tell you on the last video, I'll discuss what the assignment is going to look like. I'll see you guys in the next video.